Good morning. Today I want to talk to you about something that I believe is holding so many of us back from living the life we were meant to live. Too often, we shrink ourselves. We make ourselves smaller than we are because we're trying to fit into situations, relationships, or circumstances that were never meant for us. But I want to tell you today, God didn't create you to fit small places. He didn't make you to hide your light under a basket. He made you to shine, to grow, and to expand into the fullness of your destiny. Every one of us has been given gifts, talents, and a purpose that is uniquely ours. But too often we allow the world to define who we are. We allow other people's opinions, their doubts, and their limitations to influence the way we see ourselves. We shrink our dream. We shrink our voice. We shrink our vision. And we shrink our very presence. We do it in relationships at work, even in our own families. We try to fit ourselves into spaces that were never meant for us. We dim our light because we are afraid of standing out. We make ourselves smaller so others can feel comfortable. But I want you to hear me today. God didn't create you to fit small places. He didn't create you to hide your gifts. He didn't create you to apologize for your greatness. Recognizing your true value starts with understanding that you are enough. Exactly as you are, you do not have to earn worth. You do not have to change yourself to fit someone else's expectation. You do not have to shrink your personality, your talents, or your faith to make room for others. God has placed something inside of you that is extraordinary, something that is bigger than the challenges you face, bigger than the opinions of others, and bigger than any limiting environment you find yourself in. That something is your potential. One of the ways we shrink is by comparing ourselves to others. We look at the people around us, the ones who seem to have it all, the ones who are achieving, the ones who are recognized. And we start thinking, well, I'm not as good, I'm not as capable. And before we know it, we have shrunk ourselves to fit into this space that feels safe. But here is the truth. Your journey is yours alone. Your path is uniquely yours. No one else can walk it for you. God has placed in you a combination of experiences, talents, and vision that no one else has. When you compare yourself to others, you are trying to fit into a story that was never written for you. It's time to stop shrinking to fit their mold and start embracing your own story. Another reason we shrink is fear. Fear tells us we are not ready, that we are not capable, that we are not enough. Fear whispers, stay small, stay quiet, stay hidden. Fear wants you to play it safe, to remain in your comfort zone. Futilities pass by. But fear is a liar. Fear does not come from God. God did not create you to live in fear. He created you to live boldly. Recognizing your true value means standing firm, even when fear is screaming at you to retreat. It means taking that step forward even when the path is uncertain, because you know that you are made for more than smallness. We also shrink when we allow other people to define our worth. There are voices in our lives, sometimes well-meaning, sometimes critical, that tell us, you're too much, you're not enough, you can't handle that, or you should be like someone else. When we listen to those voices, we start to shrink ourselves. We start to settle for less, to silence our opinions, to hide our talents, and to dim our presence. But God is telling you today that you are enough. You are valuable. You were created for greatness, and no human opinion can take that away from you. Recognizing your value also means embracing your unique gifts. You were not given the same gifts as everyone else. You were given a combination of talents, abilities, and experiences that no one else has. And when you hide those gifts, the world misses out on the difference only you can make. God has placed something inside you that is meant to bless others, to inspire others, and to make an impact. But it cannot fulfill that purpose if it remains hidden. Stop apologizing for your abilities. Stop downplaying your talents. Stop hiding who you are. Step into the truth that you are equipped, capable, and ready for the life you were meant to live. Sometimes recognizing your value is about forgiving yourself for the times you doubted yourself or shrank to fit someone else's expectations. We carry regrets about missed opportunities or moments when we should have spoken up. But God wants to remind you that your past does not define your worth. Your failures, your mistakes, your setbacks, they are not the measure of who you are. What matters is that you see your value now in this moment and begin to live according to that truth. When you recognize your true value, you stop apologizing for being ambitious. You stop shrinking your dreams because they seem too big for others to understand. You stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. You stop settling for situations that don't honor who you are. And when you start to walk in your value, everything around you begins to change. Doors start to open that were previously closed. Opportunities come your way that you never imagined. Relationships, your confidence grows. You start to stand taller, not because you are arrogant, but because you finally understand that God made you for more than small spaces. Recognizing your value is not a one-time decision. It is a daily commitment. Every day you have to remind yourself that you are enough, that you are capable, and that you were created for greatness. Every day you have to reject the voices that tell you to shrink. Every day you have to stand firm in your God-given worth and refuse to settle for less than what you were made for. I want you to hear this clearly. You were created for impact. You were created to shine. You were created to take up space in this world. The only thing holding you back from living the life God designed for you is the choice to shrink. Stop shrinking. Stop trying to fit into small places that were never meant for you. Recognize your value, embrace your gifts, and step boldly into the life that awaits you. Because once you fully recognize your true value, fear loses its power, doubt disappears, and you begin to live free. To be yourself, free to dream bigger, free to love without limits, and free to walk in the fullness of the destiny that God has prepared for you. The world needs people who are unafraid to stand tall, to speak their truth, and to shine their light. And you, my friend, are one of those people. So today, make a choice. Say to yourself, I am enough. I am valuable. I am made for more. Say it until it sinks deep into your heart. Say it until it becomes your reality. Because when you recognize your value, there is no limit to what you can accomplish. There is no small place that can contain you. There is no dream too big for you to pursue. Stand tall, step forward, shine bright, and never, ever shrink again. Many times, the biggest limitations in our lives are not the circumstances around us. They are the boundaries we build within ourselves. We often say things like, I can't do that. I'm not qualified. I don't have the right connections, or that's too big for someone like me. But I want to remind you today, you are not limited by your background, by your past, by where you came from, or by what you don't have. You are limited only by the walls you build in your own mind. The moment you stop limiting yourself, the moment you believe that God can do something extraordinary through you, Doors begin to open that you never even knew existed. Too often we think small because that's all we've seen. We grow up hearing words that tell us to stay realistic, to stay safe, to not dream too big. Maybe you were told, people like us don't do things like that, or you're aiming too high. You start to believe that success, peace, or abundance is for other people, not for you. But let me tell you, God doesn't show favoritism. What He's done for others, He can do for you too. The same power that lifted others to success is the same power working inside of you right now. You were never meant to live limited. When you allow limitations to define you, you settle for less than what you were created for. You stop trying new things. You stop believing for greater things. You convince yourself that where you are is where you'll always be. But deep down, there's something in your spirit that knows you were created for more. That's why dissatisfaction rises when you settle. That's why you feel restless when you try to fit into a space that's too small for your calling. It's because your soul knows you're made for more than this. And that restlessness is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of destiny calling you higher. It's time to stop living with a limited mindset. Stop telling yourself that you don't have enough time, enough talent, enough resources. Stop believing the lie that your age disqualifies you, that your past disqualifies you, or that your mistakes define you. None of those things have the final say over your life, God. And when He calls you, He equips you. When He gives you a dream, He also provides the strength, wisdom, and opportunity to make it happen. You may not see how it will all come together, but faith doesn't need to see. Faith just needs to believe. When you live with limits in your mind, you build invisible walls that keep you from moving forward. You talk yourself out of opportunities before they even arrive. You think, I'd love to start that business, but what if I fail? Or I'd like to write that book, but who would read it? You count yourself out before the race even begins. But when you stop limiting yourself, when you start believing that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are chosen, something powerful happens. The walls begin to fall. Fear loses its grip. Confidence starts to rise. New ideas begin to flow. And what once seemed impossible, sometimes it's not our own thoughts that limit us. It's the environment we're in. Maybe you're surrounded by people who think small, who complain small, who focus on what's wrong instead of what's possible. If you're not careful, that small thinking can rub off on you. You start to absorb their limitations without realizing it. But if you're going to live the life you were created for, you can't let other people's small thinking stop your big destiny. You have to rise above it. You have to be willing to say, this may be the environment I'm in, but it's not the environment I belong to. When you stop limiting yourself, you stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop saying, I'll start when I have more money, or when I feel ready. The truth is, there will never be a perfect time. Growth doesn't come when everything is comfortable. It comes when you step out despite the uncertainty. Sometimes you have to take that first step with shaking hands and trembling knees, believing that God will meet you along the way, and He will. He's never failed to meet a heart that moves in faith. Maybe you failed before, and that failure convinced you to stay small. You tried something, and it didn't work out the way you hoped. So now you play it safe. But just because something didn't work once doesn't mean it never will. Failure is not a wall. It's a doorway. It's not a sign to stop. It's an invitation to grow. Every successful person you admire has failed at something, but they refused to let that failure define them. They stopped limiting themselves to what went wrong and started believing in what could go right, you can do the same. Sometimes the reason we live limited is because we've been disappointed too many times. Life didn't turn out the way we expected, so we start lowering our expectation. We stop dreaming big dreams, stop hoping for change. But just because you've been through a season of disappointment doesn't mean your best days are behind you. God can restore what was lost. He can breathe life into your dreams again. Don't let the pain of the past create a ceiling over your future. You're not meant to live beneath your potential. You're meant to rise above it. When you stop limiting yourself, you give God room to move. When you believe big, you make space for the miraculous. When you expect more, God responds to faith, not fear. He responds to expectation, not hesitation. So if you've been living small, if you've been holding back, if you've been shrinking because of fear, it's time to take the limits off. You have more in you than you realize. There's potential in you that's never been tapped, ideas that have never been tried, and strength that's never been used. Don't let your mind be the cage that holds your destiny hostage. Don't let the opinions of others define the boundaries of your life. You may not have all the answers, you may not have all the resources, but you have everything you need to take the next step. And as you take that step, new doors will open. As you move forward, the path will unfold. You don't have to see the entire staircase. You just have to take the first step of faith. You were created for expansion. You were designed to grow. You were made to reach higher, to go further, to do greater things. The only thing standing between you and the life you were meant to live are the limits you've accepted. So today, make a choice. Break the walls, stretch your faith, believe that more is possible, and watch what happens when you stop shrinking, stop settling, and stop limiting yourself. Because the truth is, you were never meant to fit small places. You were meant to fill big ones. And once you stop limiting yourself, you'll discover that the space God has prepared for you has been waiting all along, wide, open, and ready for you to step into. There comes a time in every person's life when you have to make a decision to stop standing on the sidelines and start stepping into the life that was meant for you. For too long, many people have been waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for someone to notice them, waiting for everything to line up before they move forward. But here's the truth. The perfect moment doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who take a step. When you step into your full potential, you tell God, I'm ready. You may not have everything figured out. You may not feel qualified, but you're willing to trust Him and move forward anyway. Stepping into your full potential means believing that what God placed inside of you is enough. It means knowing that you don't have to wait for anyone's permission to be great, to create, or to dream. Everything you need to fulfill your purpose is already inside of you. You have the talent, the strength, the courage, and the wisdom to become all you were created to be. You may not see it all right now, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Seeds of greatness are planted deep within you, and they begin to grow when you step out in faith. Many people never step into their potential because they're waiting to feel ready. They say, when I have more experience, then I'll try, or when I feel more confident, then I'll go for it. But if you wait until you feel ready, you'll never move. Confidence doesn't come before you act. It comes after. You discover your strength when you step into it. You discover your courage when you use it. You discover your gifts when you start using them, even in small ways. The more you step forward, the more you grow into who you were meant to be. Think of a butterfly.
It doesn't stay a caterpillar, it's comfortable. It goes through the painful process of transformation because it's meant to fly. If the caterpillar refused to leave its cocoon, it would never discover its wings.
In the same way, you can't stay in the same place and expect to reach your destiny. Growth requires movement. Change requires courage. You have to step out of the familiar if you're ever going to experience the extraordinary. God didn't call you to live an average life. He called you to live an abundant one. But that abundance won't be found in your comfort zone. It will be found in your courage zone. Stepping into your full potential means being willing to take risks, not reckless risks, but faith-filled ones. It means being willing to face the unknown, to do things that stretch, to take opportunities that challenge. When you do, something shifts inside you. You begin to realize that the same God who called you is the same God who will sustain you. You may not have all the answers, but He does. You may not see the full picture, but He does. All you have to do is take that first step, and God will meet you along the way. Sometimes, stepping into your potential requires walking away from things that no longer serve your growth. You can't step into the future while holding on to the past. You can't embrace new opportunities while clinging to old mindsets. You can't walk into your destiny if you're still trying to please everyone around you. There comes a point where you have to say, "This is my time. I'm not shrinking. I'm not playing small anymore. I'm going to become who I was made to be." That decision changes everything. You may have been through seasons where life made you doubt your potential. Maybe you've been overlooked, rejected, or told you're not enough. But I want to tell you something. Rejection doesn't mean you're not valuable. It means you were being redirected. Every no you heard was pushing you toward the yes that truly belongs to you. Every closed door was protecting you from something that wasn't meant for your destiny. Don't let the disappointments of your past define what you believe about your future. When you step into your potential, you begin to see that every setback was really a setup for something greater. When you step into your potential, you give others permission to do the same. Your courage becomes contagious. Your confidence inspires others to rise. Your obedience creates a ripple effect that reaches beyond your own life. That's why it's so important that you don't hold back. You don't know who's watching you, who's learning from your strength, or who's gaining faith because you chose to step forward. Your life is not just about you. It's about the impact you were designed to make. You may say, "But what if I fail?" What if you do? Failing doesn't make you a failure. It means you tried. It means you learned. Every time you fall and get back up, you build resilience. You build wisdom. You build strength. Every great success story has chapters of struggle. But those struggles are not the end of the story. They are the part that gives your story power. When you step into your potential, you stop being afraid of failure because you realize that even failure is part of the journey to greatness. Sometimes, stepping into your potential requires tuning out the noise. There will always be voices that doubt you, criticize you, or misunderstand. But you don't need everyone's approval to fulfill your purpose. You just need God's. You have to learn to silence the distractions, to rise above the opinions, and to trust the voice inside that says, "You were made for more." Because the truth is, if God put the dream in your heart, He's already prepared the way for it to come to pass. When you finally step into your potential, you'll realize that you've been carrying greatness all along. It was never about gaining something new. It was about uncovering what was already inside of you. It's like a treasure hidden in plain sight. The moment you believe that you have more to give, more to become, or to create, that's when you unlock that treasure. That's when you stop living by fear and start living by faith. That's when life takes on a new meaning, a new energy, a new purpose. You were created to live big, to love deeply, to give generously, to shine brightly. You were never meant to live. You were never meant to settle in places that feel too small for your calling. So step into your potential. Speak the words that have been burning in your heart. Start the project that's been on your mind. Pursue the dream that keeps you awake at night. Don't wait until everything is perfect. It never will be. Move now and watch how things begin to align. Because the moment you take that step, God takes 10 toward you. He opens doors, connects you with the right people, brings resources you never expected, and leads you to places beyond your imagination. You'll look back and realize that everything you needed was waiting on the other side of your obedience. So today, take a deep breath and step forward. Step out of the shadows and into the light. Step out of fear and into faith. Step out of doubt and into destiny. The world needs what you carry. God designed you for greatness. Don't let another day go by living below your potential. This is your moment. This is your time. Step into it with courage, with confidence, and with faith that the best is yet to come. You were never created to live small. You were never designed to hide your light, to silence your gifts, or to make yourself less so others could feel more comfortable. You were created to shine. You were created to stand tall. You were created to carry greatness within you. For too long, you may have been trying to fit into places that were never meant to hold you, trying to be what others expected instead of who God made you to be. But that season ends today. It's time to stop shrinking to fit small places. It's time to rise up and embrace who you truly are. You are not ordinary. You are extraordinary. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. You are not lacking. You are equipped. Everything you need to live the life you were created for is already inside of you. You may have gone through seasons that made you question your worth. You may have faced rejection, disappointment, or loss. But none of that changed your value. None of that canceled your calling. You are still who God says you are. Blessed, favored, anointed, and destined for more. When you recognize your true value, you stop apologizing for your presence. You stop settling for less than you deserve. You begin to walk with confidence, not arrogance, but quiet assurance. The kind that comes from knowing who you are and whose you are. You realize you don't have to shrink to be accepted, because you were already approved by the one who created you. When you stop limiting yourself, your world begins to expand. The walls that once boxed you in start to fall. You begin to see opportunities you never noticed before. You begin to believe in possibilities that once seemed out of reach. Every step of faith you take builds your strength. Every time you push past fear, you grow. Every time you trust God beyond your comfort zone, you move closer to the destiny He designed for you. And when you step into your full potential, you don't just change your life. You change the lives of others. Your courage gives others courage. Your light helps others see their own. Your obedience to your calling becomes the key that unlocks doors for people you'll never even meet. That's why you can't keep hiding who you are. The world needs the gift that only you carry. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be moments that challenge you. But if you keep standing in faith, if you keep trusting that you were made for more, nothing can stop what God has planned for you. You may not see the full picture yet, but every step you take is leading you toward a bigger place. A place of purpose, joy, and of fulfillment. So lift your head, square your shoulders, and walk boldly into your future. Stop apologizing for your dreams. Stop doubting your gifts. Stop letting fear talk you out of your faith. You have been hidden, stretched, and prepared for such a time as this. Your moment to rise, the doors of destiny are open before you. The world is waiting to see your light. Step out of the small places. Step out of the shadows. Step into the fullness of who you were created to be. You are powerful. You are worthy. You are enough. And when you refuse to shrink, when you decide to live fully, boldly, and unapologetically, that's when you'll see God do more than you could ask, think, or imagine. So today, make this declaration in your heart. I will not settle. I will not hide who I am. I will live in the fullness of my calling. I will walk in my God-given purpose. I will take up space and shine my light wherever I go. Because your destiny is too great for small places. Your purpose is too big for fear. Your life is too important to play small. Step forward in faith, step forward in confidence, and never forget, the one who created you never meant for you to blend in. He meant for you to stand out. And when you do, when you stop shrinking and start living boldly, you'll discover that the life you were always dreaming of has been waiting for you all along.